Alrighty guys, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick logo tutorial here. And let's do it together. I don't even know what we're going to do yet. So I'm going to start off though with any logo design. I like to create, drop down my profile, make it say print. That'll change it to points. I like to start with a square, so I go with 1,000 points. Oops, 1,000. Make sure it's CMYK and 300 DPI. Start with my artboard there, great. And so let's just do a little bit of research here. I was looking around, I liked this acorn construction, but just kind of seeing something to replicate, that will teach us something about logo design. Let's go ahead though. Let's do something shape-wise, like kind of like a shield, and maybe we'll use a letter or a shape. I'll show you some quick and easy ways to do that. That's actually kind of a neat little shield and shape. So let's use that as a guide. So I'm going to get Control V, just copy and paste that logo in here. I'm just going to use that as a guide. So what I like to do first is let's hold down Shift, and on your square tool, make a square. And then I'm going to center it horizontally and vertically. Now what I do is I'll go View, Rulers, Show the Rulers. And I'm just going to drag and create my center points. All right. And in this case, I'm going to create the square marks just as guides. All right, here. So as you can see on this one, we've got kind of like a pointy shape. So a couple ways we could do that. We could either draw it with our pen tool, which would be pretty simple. You just would click here. We could even do half of the shape if you wanted to. And create it that way. So that's one way to create your shape. And then you can duplicate that, or you could simply draw around and create all your points. Another way is I'll go to the pen tool and add an anchor point. So if we click on the square, you see centers there. If I go to add an anchor point, wait till it says intersect, create a dot. Now what I like about this is I can click on that point, that single point, hold down Shift and click the up arrow, which this will do 10 points every time I push up. So I'll kind of create the shape that I want. Give it a little bit more. So this one, what we're going to do, let's shrink it down. We still have our guidelines. So if we shrink it, right there, that's good. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make that red, just so we're creating it like this. Now again, it's split down the middle, so a trick that I like to use, we can go ahead and just create a square, rectangle, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just going down and creating the halfway point. Now don't trust it. You can even zoom in here just to give yourself a little better look. So again, we're not actually lined up. Actually, our guides aren't accurate. That's better. There, that's better fit. So now what I can do is I can select both of those. Now I can either go over here and create my shape builder tool and then cut that out. Which if I did that, I'd hold down Alt and delete it that way. The other way is to use your Pathfinder. One thing, I'll select both of them here, and then I'll use this tool, minus front. Oops, excuse me, not minus front, minus back on that one. Not that one either. So, pardon me, I was telling you in reverse. Now, if I wanted to do that, yeah, that's too many steps. So we're just going to keep the simple one. Sorry about thinking out loud there. A lot of times that's just what we're doing. Now with this, that's our halfway point, right? So what I like to do with this is I'm actually going to turn this black. And then I'm going to go to the gradient tool. I'm going to change the transparency to multiply. Bring this down to like 14%. Yeah, let's do 15, that's good. Cool. So now that just creates an overlay. Good. So let's drop back out to about 66. Now's a good time to change your shapes up. So now if you wanted to adjust anything, so if I wanted to come over here, maybe I didn't want it to be so tall, I'm gonna hold down Shift and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually see that was our overlay layer. I kind of like that idea. So let's go ahead and add a node here as well. So now we can come up, grab this bottom leader, hold Shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, now we've got a little bit different shape going on. Now remember, this is our half shape. That's our full shape. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this and do object path, offset path. Now 10 points, we're going to hit the preview and see if that's the width that we want. So we're looking at that white line. I think we want to go a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go 20. Do that. Yeah, that's about right. And I'm going to turn that white. I'm going to do the same thing again. Object path, offset path. Now this time I'm going to do 10. Do that. Yeah, like that. I'm going to make that gray. Cool. So now we're almost there with creating that logo. Now with this one, we could do a couple other things. We could draw a shape. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to go Control C, Control F. That's going to copy and paste it in the front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the narrowness of this. And then center it. And elongate it. Center it vertically and horizontally until you get the height in which we want. So now I'm going to cap that up there. Just a little bit. Great. Now it's not perfect, right? So if we made this gray, which do we have a transparency in here? Send it to the back. There we go. Color pick it. Right gray. So now we're close, right? But no cigar. So our angles are off a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come grab my what do they call this? Direct selection. Select this node. What I'm going to do is I'm angling it for this angle. Actually, let's just do it the right way. Let's grab the line tool. Come up here to get the anchor. And create your line. Make it a color you're not going to use. It's hot pink. So now what we do is we're going to come, and I'm actually going to create it about this high, right? So now all I got to do is create my direct selection, grab each node, hold down Shift, and keep the straight line, it intersects, do the same thing here. Boom. Now to make sure that that's even right now, which it's not, we're just going to go Control F, Control C, Control F, Object Transform, Reflect, Vertical. We can preview it just to make sure it's going to go the right way. Now all I need to do is make this sure this lines up again. And we know that this point's correct. So if we tap there, we should be good. Hold down Shift, drag your point up. Now I can select these and get rid of them. Just guides we were using. Cool. Now that's all shaped. Now remember, what are we going to do now about that line? Same thing that we did before. But let's zoom in on this logo. Yeah, see, it's dark line. It's darker on this side everywhere. So let's shrink it down. Now there's a few times. Here's a chance where we can make some adjustments here as well. Now that we're all lined up, now we can select everything and start changing your shape if you want. Maybe I want it a little bit pudgier. Yeah, that's going to be a good look for me on this one. But we're using that general concept, right? So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole object and I'm going to go Control C, Control F, hold down Shift, and I'm going to drag this whole thing over here. I'm going to go over and I'm going to take my Pathfinder tool, and I'm going to go over here and do Unite. Okay, now turn it into a pink line, get rid of that. Just going to make it solid, black. Okay, so now I want to cut that in half, so I'm going to create my multiply effect again. I can delete each node by using the minus point tool, or I can just simply come over here, cut that thing in half again, use my shape builder, hold down Alt, see you later, go back to my multiply, which is my gradient, transparent, multiply, we did 15 before, I'll type 15, perfect, I can come up here, drop it on it. Now all I'm going to do is just hold down Control and left square bracket until it goes below my white. And looks like we got it there. Cool. So now we've got to multiply over the red here, and then we've got to multiply over the gray. Now see what happens is we can take this, I can make it blue, and it's still going to have a multiply effect. This could be yellow, and it still has the multiply effect in unique spaces. So that's a good way to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make these a little bit darker. And again, if you want to match your logo, just use your color picker. You know, you really could. Actually, match that gray. yellow. That's what we're color picking. Take that gray. Perfect. Take that gray. Perfect. Alright. So we can either draw a star on there. One thing that you may want to get into, I'll show you guys real quick here. If you go to awesome. So if you guys download Font Awesome, it's just like downloading a font plugin. Anyway, if you download that, it'll install into your Photoshop and Illustrator. So once you have this, I'll go to cheat sheet. Which actually I don't know where they put it here, so I just type it in Font Awesome cheat sheet. Now what's cool about this is if you hold down Control F, you can search here, and I'll type in star. Scroll down and it'll find anything that have a star. There's start, some stars. Cool. So there's a star. I can take the font from the star. Now I'm only showing that obviously a star, there's a million other ways we can do that. But why I like doing the Font Awesome cheat sheets is, let's just say you wanted a microphone. In here, we're going to be some sort of talk company. Now I can go into my fonts, go and type in Font Awesome. Now I just copy and paste. Control V. And then it brings in that font, which is now vector and can be used just like text to create whatever logo you want. So now a text-based icon. Now with this icon, if you hold down Control and then your left square bracket, click once, twice. Let's see, I'm kind of gotta go there. There, let's see. Basically getting it to where now it goes underneath the multiply effect. Boom, and there you go. Now that's a little bit too big for your icon. So again, this is a font, so you can highlight it. Oops. And you can just decrease the font. Now see how it's not staying centered? You can actually click center here and then center there, and you'll be good. Cool. So with that, we'll just say I want to change that up and just be a text. G. And a cool G. Effect. Okay, so again, you can put a font there and do how you want it. For a star, really easily, we just right click here, click our star tool. It's going to give us 5 points. What we can do is just create that, look at it. Yeah, it's kind of a fat little star. Let's go ahead and click it again. We can decrease certain things. Let's make this 15 points, see what that looks like. It's skinnier, don't really like that. Let's do 20. That's better. So now we've got our star. Hold down shift as you rotate it. And you can click each point till you can see it gets that start at 45. Now just click center. Too big. About right. Center. Figure it out there. That's good. Remember, control left square bracket, bring it a little bit. Cool. And just for an added effect, what I like to do is I'll double click here, copy, Control C, Control F. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our color picker and we're going to take that multiply effect again. Now it's in the star. Hold Control and left bracket, drop it down one more layer. Hold Shift, down one. And down two. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. So now I got a little effect there. And again, you can play with all these little nodes here. Grab them one by one. You can take these sections and stretch them out a little bit, fit how you want. And last but not least, when you're done, control your object group. Shrink this thing down. There's many fonts that you can use for that. I like to use Google Web Fonts. So you can do some Google searches for best Google Web Fonts. Lato is a very popular one. Hind is another. Open Sans. This is Norwester, what I'm using there. Let's call it we'll call it I don't know, just making up a name, right? Star Security. And what we'll do is we'll create a new font. Oh, I was going to make that Open Sans, right? I'll show you what that looks like. Actually, Lato would probably be a good one for this. Lato Black. Security. Agency is a nice upright. Agency bold. Yeah, there we go. Star Security. Go character. And what I'll do is I'll change my spacing a little bit. Give it like 100. Yeah. That looks nice. Let's drop 400. Let's drop this down to 100. Let me just say profile protection. So it's a Hollywood agency here, kind of like the bodyguard, right? Profile protection. So typically what I'll do is I'll change up these fonts. So again, now maybe I'll go back to Lato, go with a regular. Now we'll break up this spacing even more. Get something like 400. Cool. Security. Now notice we got these spacings. What we got to do is we need to go type create outlines. Now what we can do is we can center those, and that will be centered for each other. Recenter. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and take my square. The shape builder tool, hold down Alt to get in between any of the letters that it didn't connect to. Security. Actually, I'm going to take these. I'm holding down Shift to select these in a group. Object, group, color picker. I'm going to hit my multiply. Boom. High profile protection. Let's go in here and go object, ungroup. I want that star. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down. Let's grab that gray again. Matter of fact, we're not going to use gray. We're going to make this charcoal. Let's make that other one darker. Make this charcoal. There we go. So now we can make sure that that's charcoal. Great. Same with that one. This. Hold down Shift. A little bit smaller. Object group. Down Shift so they stay the same height. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come select all these. Object group these. Oh, pardon me. Just the stars. Object group. Now you're going to center that. So you know that that's perfectly even. Make sure this is perfectly even in the center. Oh, there you go. I take this whole section here. Object. It's catching something. We don't need that. Object group. Now I can move that up, and there's my text and my logo. Security. Now what's cool about this is I hold down Object, Ungroup, Object, Ungroup. And just group these together. Object, Group. Okay. I'm sure those didn't snap exactly where they needed to snap. So let's go up here. Nope, they didn't. So let's just tap it on over. Always zoom in and double check. But so now what happens is if we select this back layer, and I can also select this layer because they're all ungrouped, and we can change this to any color we want. For example, There we go. And that means I can take these. I was just holding control on the left square back bracket because once I grouped it, it brought it to the front. And now when I grab this color, again, I can make this any color we want. It still didn't go behind that. There we go. Behind our multiply layer. So now this can be turned into charcoal, and it will change all the colors and keep you in uniform. Very simply, again, too, if we wanted to switch this out, you can come in here. Have your S. Try to ungroup them. So now you get your S right from your logo. Hold down Shift. Make sure you line it up to be right on the center. Hold down your control on your left square bracket until you see it drop below your multiply line. Pretty simple. And then what I would do on this is I would come over and create yourself some different artboards. Okay. So with this artboard, object ungroup, I'll come over and save just the icon. Control C, Control F will place it in place. And you start scaling things down and creating your other brand assets. So like how will the logo be presented if the logo is stacked on top? So and that's a great way to just recreate a simple shaped logo that way. Thanks for watching, guys, and join me for the next little adventure we go on.